They told him his son was dead. They told him to say goodbye. They told him to put the gun down. But this father knew they were all wrong. In January 2015, inside a hospital in Tomball, Texas, George Pickering II faced every parent's nightmare. His son, George Pickering III, had suffered a massive stroke. Doctors ran their tests. They checked brain activity. And then they delivered the words no parent ever recovers from: brain dead. They said there was zero chance of recovery, no awareness, no coming back. They scheduled something called a terminal wean. That means turning off life support slowly and letting a patient die. The organ donation team was already notified. They were preparing to harvest his son's organs. But George didn't feel closure. He felt resistance. Something deep inside him said this isn't over. He begged the doctors for more time. Just 3 hours, just one afternoon. They refused. The decision was final. The clock was ticking. So George did something no medical protocol could prepare for. He pulled out a 9mm handgun. He walked into the ICU. He ordered every doctor and nurse out of the room. He locked the door behind them. In seconds, the hospital turned into a crime scene. Police flooded the building. SWAT surrounded the hallway. Snipers took positions. They deployed a robot to watch him. Inside the room, George was drunk, emotional, unstable. He even lied and said he had a second gun just to keep police from rushing in. But while law enforcement saw a hostage situation, something very different was happening in that room. George wasn't threatening anyone. He wasn't pacing. He wasn't shouting demands. He was sitting beside the bed, holding his son's hand, talking to him. For nearly 3 hours, while police prepared to breach, George whispered to his son. He told him about childhood memories. He told him he loved him. He begged him to fight. Then, with rifles aimed and seconds running out, George leaned close and said, "George, if you can hear me, squeeze my hand." And then it happened. The hand squeezed back. Once, twice, 3 times, 4, on command. A brain-dead patient cannot follow commands. George screamed for police. "He's alive. He squeezed my hand." Doctors rushed back in. They reran the tests. And that's when the truth shattered everything. George Pickering III was not brain-dead. He was in a deep coma, and he was waking up. The terminal wean was canceled immediately. The miracle everyone said was impossible had just happened. But miracles still come with consequences. George, the father, was arrested, charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. He went to jail. He missed months of his son's recovery. Later, while out on bond, he violated a no-contact order just to see his son baptized. He went back to jail for that too. And when asked if he regretted it, George said he would do it again. Today, George Pickering III is fully recovered. He runs an electrical business with his father. He is alive because someone refused to accept a timetable for death. The system called George a criminal, but his son calls him something else: Dad. So here's the question that lingers long after the sirens faded. If the experts were wrong and the law stood in the way of saving your child, would you have put the gun down, or would you have done exactly what he did? Tell me in the comments, and follow for the cases that prove sometimes breaking the rules is the only way to save a life.